Do you want me to do this or not?
Go for it.
You
Go
ready
for
for
it.
this?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Hi,
All
welcome
right,
to
I'm
Two
ready.
Non-Doctors. I'm Liz. No, you're such a piece of shit. I'm Liz Veely. This is my fucking co-host.
I'm Maria Shahada.
I did my first headlining show last weekend.
Oh, right. Okay, so you went to Portland.
Yeah, I did a bunch of outdoor shows, and I was like so fucking nervous. Like I headlined twice in the fall. I think September, October. I really can't remember when. And this would be my third and fourth time headlining in a year. Like saw
Yeah.
you in Europe, headlined, came home, did of nothing, 10-minute spots here and there. I think I made it in 20. And then it was all new material. That felt pretty good. I have
Oh,
about
that's
45 minutes.
amazing. Yeah.
I wrote it all on Zoom, which is kind of crazy.
Oh, that's
I
like
actually
fucking cool.
I think it was Zoom Diner that actually pushed, like I think the thing I invented actually is the thing that made it, like, because every month, sometimes for 2 weeks in the beginning when we were really locked down, but every um at least once a month I had to present 3 new jokes. And then the other comics would give me ideas. I would get more excited about an idea, and then I would take it to a Zoom show, or during the summer to like an outdoor show. And I was like, oh crap, I wrote 45 minutes on Zoom.
I mean, like, I'll be honest, that Zoom show, the Zoom Diner is the only reason I have like one new joke that I love. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have any new jokes. It
That
did
like
help me get
warms
excited about it. Yeah.
it warms my heart. Like that makes me so happy.
When I lived in LA, when we did open mics, all of the same comedians went to each. Say there was 5 open mics in a night. Most likely, the same comedians would be at every open mic. So the pressure to do different stuff, because that's your entire audience. An LA open mic is just
Yeah.
other comedians. So there was so much pressure to try new stuff, and I wrote so much in my time in LA of material I had no confidence in because the shows were so shit. And then it wasn't until like
Yeah.
I went to any other city to discover that they're good, or sometimes bad, but
Yeah.
and
We'll
then
get like a
like
real read on them.
yeah. Then I come to London and the shows are so much fun. It's like, well, I don't want to ruin the fun by trying new stuff. I was like, this is like, wait, it's like having a good time, you know? But I sort of need that pressure to like of like other comics having seen my material a million times to keep writing.
That's so interesting because I have like a tiered system of shows. So like even yesterday I did this like sidewalk cafe free show that I knew was going to be shit. I did a version of it a couple of months ago. Great, usually I don't have good heaters on the comedians. It's the heaters are on the audience, and then you as a
Yeah.
comic are like shivering.
Yeah,
They had
fuck you,
a
right?
great heater on me. I was like, at this point, this is the best thing that's happened to me.
Yeah.
But and that's what I really missed. And I've kind of used Zoom shows as my new shit shows, but I always have like some kind of shitty bar show, something where I could like take a full like intellectual dump, like just a comedic dump, and not worry if it does well or not. Cause sometimes I'm just getting the wording down or get comfortable in what I'm saying. If it gets any laugh, that means more to me in a
Yeah.
shit room than it does in a good room.
Yeah.
And then I'll do like a Monday through Thursday in the city is like, especially if it's a shit size audience, which is funny because this is now like Monday, 10 people is usually a shitty audience. And now that's like max capacity of audience now with the clubs opening up. Um, but like a Monday, Tuesday show at a club, you know, I would try like 1 or 2 new jokes. Like I wouldn't be the whole set new like I would at a bar show. And then now headlining, as I've done more like theaters, small theaters that are my audience, I'll ask them. Like this weekend, I asked them, I was like, hey, I have 4 jokes that I might need like notes and stuff for. Can I try them? And it was like very honest about where they were. And it
Yeah,
was
but
super helpful. It got me really into 2 of them.
I know, but that's what I'm saying is like there are no tiers here because everybody like all the shows are good. A top secret new material night is so like that's the show I probably do mostly old, a couple new. But all the shows have an amazing amount of there's 150, 200 people in the audience. Everyone's laughing, everyone's having a good time. And
But
then
that's a real read. The
huh?
high from a good audience laughing at a thing that you don't have confidence in yet. That's where the high is. That doesn't Like, yes, it's a bigger risk, but the reward is 10 times bigger. You don't
Uh,
feel that?
no, I only want to like, but I only feel safe to try the new stuff that I don't have the wording or the footing for yet. At like, and the only room is like the Betsy Trotwood, which is like as close to an open mic as they have in the States. Because new material nights here aren't shitty open mic gigs.
I see the risk when they don't know it's new, because then they start to think like, oh, this person's inconsistent. But if they know this is brand new, that's where like the excitement is. Announcements.
Yep.
Okay, we have thank you to all our patrons,
Patrons.
people that support us.
Patrons on Patreon.
Yeah, it's so confusing. I just say all of them. Um,
Yeah.
People that give us money, people that have given us money. We appreciate you so much. If you don't know, we now have weekly bonuses. $5 and up, you get a weekly bonus where we do a Let's Get Personal. I actually just included a signed book for anybody that gives $65 or more. I'm not giving away signed books right now. Like, you can go buy a book wherever you want to buy a book. But now if you want a signed copy, you can join our Patreon, as well as get like Maria's stand-up, my stand-up, a bunch of other stuff in all the different tiers. But yeah, thank you. And then of course stickers and blah, blah, blah. So we have tons of stuff, and we want you to have that stuff too.
Yeah. Follow us on the socials.
Huh?
Let's try again. Follow us on the socials, on social media. What the fuck's wrong with me? Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at 2non-doctors, full word doctors, the number 2. Follow us on Instagram at 2non-DRS. And if you have time and you feel like leaving us a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts, it helps us out a lot. It helps us be seen. It helps us. We love hearing from you. We love reading the kind reviews you've all left so far. Thank you so much for those.
And do you have any personal gig things that you would like to put out there, Maria?
Yeah, I have a couple previews at Top Secret that I didn't have prepared to. June 14th at 6:30 p.m. in London, and then August 10th at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah. And I'm in Philly next week, Minneapolis the week after, Brooklyn June 5th, Arlington. Me and Maria are going to be in Arlington together. Way to forget. We'll be in Arlington. Piece of shit. We'll be in Arlington together July 9th and 10th. And then thank you for everybody that's bought my book. If you want to buy my book, it's now available everywhere. And if you did buy my book, write an Amazon review. That stuff helps a lot. Review our podcast on Apple Podcasts, review my book on Amazon. And
you guys got a lot of writing to do.
Yeah, you have so much work to do if you like us.
Liz wrote a 200-page book, so you can write 40 words in a review. Just copy and paste, really.
Yeah, seriously. Just, I like cats. I like reading about cats. Liz wrote about cats. Like, it doesn't, just put it out there. But yeah, check us out. Everything's on our websites, and let's get into fan mail.
Yeah.
This is from Omalbat. He's written to us before, or I don't know anything about Omalbat. So I started smoking cigarettes at 13 and heavily smoking at 16, then smoked for about 20 years. I tried quitting with a handful of real attempts for years without any success. About 3 years ago, I switched to vaping just because it tasted and smelled better, and at least for me, it helped my lungs feel better. About a year ago, I decided to give up vaping too, and at this point, I didn't use any nicotine at all. I think the main pitch I would make to switching to vaping doesn't have much to do with health or anything like that. I think it is something that ticked all the boxes for replacing the smoking habit, but it made a window of opportunity to quit vaping before it became as deep-rooted as smoking was. I think that kind of answered all my questions I had about how people use vape, like why somebody would go from smoking to vaping, but then also how vaping slightly is easier to quit than smoking. Like, to me, I've always seen it a little bit as like a tiered system. I don't know if this is like made up, but like, did you ever have friends that chewed tobacco that keep it in there? Oh yeah, we talked about it because George used to do that. So George had that habit. I had a couple of friends that had that habit, and I thought it was the growth. Like, that's like, I can't get behind that. But like, that's just like instant. It's like right there. The same way you would talk about the nicotine gum, you would just kind of hold it. But then smoking and then vaping, I mean, I think what makes it a little tricky is that vaping, because it smells better, because you can kind of do it inconspicuously, probably in more areas than you would be able to smoke. You don't have to be away from it as much as you might have to be away from it, like with the cigarette. And I could see how, like you said, you would never know how much nicotine you actually had in your system because it's not regulated the same way as, like, a cigarette is this big and when it's done, it's done. Um, but I find it interesting that he like made the switch, and then from making the switch, it was like, all right, I'm not going to get as deep rooted. Almost the same way that you talked about, like there's all these different apparatuses and you have to change the coils for this. And like, I think if I was trying, I'd be like, I don't want to learn anything new. But like, also we talked about it when we talked about habits, or like that habit book that I think you said, you're like, I don't understand why everybody likes it. But that's what the power of habit says, is that you need to replace a habit with another habit. That's, I feel like, why like every AA meeting has like coffee and cookies and like whatever it is that they
Oh
have. Like
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and I feel like every person I know that's a recovering alcoholic is a heavy smoker. Like it's just something else.
It's
Not
so weird
saying
how
that.
quickly I build habits. Like I started watching Homeland at 5 p.m. and then ordering Indian food.
Uh-huh.
I can't not. I want Indian food at 5 p.m. Like I was like, it's Homeland Indian food time. Like that just like happened after day two.
You were so, I feel like you'd be the perfect pet. You know what I mean? It's just like sit, then you get your dinner. Okay. And then you're like, hey, the sun's going down, and you're like trying to teach like a dog about like time change. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the sun is at a different point in the universe and it's actually not 5:30. So I can't be like but I get that. I think that's why I think everybody's a little bit like that, because I think that's why people get attached to shows. So like I got really into a show, and I would tell myself at 10, I was allowed, like, especially without having shows to do, I'd be like, at 10, you get to watch your show. You can watch 2 episodes of your show and then hopefully go to bed at a reasonable hour. And then I went through my show and it was over, and I was like lost. I was like lost
Yeah.
and alone. And I was like starting to have like feelings of like life doesn't matter, because my show was, there's so many shows, but it was like, no, like I didn't have to think about it. It was like 10,
Life
washed my
doesn't
face,
matter.
watched a couple shows, and then I didn't have a show replacement. And I was like truly on the verge of like calling friends, being like, what's the point of living? Like, what are we doing here?
I almost had to connect with people.
Yeah, and it was traumatizing. It's traumatizing. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. But yeah, I do. I think it's all about replacing the habit. I'd be curious, honestly, what's replaced your nicotine habit? Like, I think we had another person write in saying that they went for more walks and they did more kind of physical activity, and that kind of helped them get away from nicotine. I'd be curious if you have something that replaced vaping. Thank you. Thank you for writing in. We always appreciate
Yeah,
you guys
thanks.
writing in. You want to get into Google's?
Google's? Yeah. I
Um,
still have to Google mine.
okay, so I'll go first.
You sure?
So my Google was, is drinking bottled water bad for you? And I didn't get the answer I wanted, and I also think I was like spreading lies before this. So my room my roommate John had a kidney stone, maybe something, he had something like that, like maybe a year ago. And they were like, you need to drink significantly more. And he eats really healthy. That's what's crazy about it. It's like all the other things you would tell somebody that had a kidney stone, he already does that. He eats really healthy. So they were just like, you need to drink a lot more water. So we started getting these big jugs of, bottled water. And I have like a Brita that I'm very diligent about. And I also think New York City water is good water, but whatever. I almost never see him drink from the tap. He only drinks like these, and he's drinking a lot. Like he's doing what he's supposed to do for his health. But I kind of was like, I don't think that's good for you. Like, I think there's certain minerals in tap water, and there's also like a natural pH thing. And then also like bottles, like plastic holding water isn't great. That's why there's that expiration date on bottles is for the bottle. It's not for the water. Anyway, I kind of was like, I don't know if that's good. Like, I don't think you should be only drinking bottled water as your only source of water. Except clearly if like what is it? Where people like their water's tampered with or their water is not great to drink. Like crap, not Detroit, but
Flint.
Flint. Thank you. Like Flint, Michigan. I don't think they've had clean water for what, 4 years? Like something insane. So clearly, if your option is shitty water or bottled water, clearly bottled water. Anyway, all I found was, toxins from the plastic is a problem. So the BPA and other plastic toxins can make their way into your blood system, which could cause problems like cancer or kidney damage, which kind of funny to drink bottled water for your kidney stone. And then not funny, sad.
Yeah.
Sad is the word I was looking for.
The terrible, hilarious irony of that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know words. And then I found something that said the only 4 bottled water brands that have the pH and the fluoride level completely safe for your teeth is Fiji, Just Water, Deer Park Natural Spring Water, and Evermore. And then I wish I went down a deeper rabbit hole, because I remember when I was a kid, my dad had these fluoride tablets or whatever that he would put in the water. And I was like, what are those? And he goes, oh, our water doesn't have fluoride in it. And so you put this in it and you're supposed to have fluoride. And then I got older and like, I actually brush my teeth with non-fluoride toothpaste, because I've read so many things about how, yeah, it's good for your teeth, but it's like horrible for your system. And all of America puts fluoride in their water. And I was like, I don't know. I haven't done enough research, and maybe that's my next Google, but I'm a little like, why are you putting something in our water that doesn't need to be in there? I don't know. I don't want to get like, I don't know enough, but I do know about pH balance, and I have seen them do like these huge charts where they're just like, hey, this bottle is $7, but it actually is really like has a horrible pH balance. But yeah, so I didn't really get the answer I wanted. Mostly it was like the plastic, and I guess I was looking for more like minerals and stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay. I really thought you meant because of the plastic being bad for you and causing your hormones to go haywire just like everything else.
Yeah, and I knew that plastic, but that wasn't the thing I thought was bad about drinking
But generally spring water is generally spring water, like coming from natural springs that does have minerals in them. So like Fiji water would technically have mineral, and you can get mineral water.
Yeah, but then I also wonder, like, is this natural minerals, or like when they bleach the flour and then they add crap to it, and that's like not great either. Like,
No,
I
I think
guess
the
I'm
point,
wondering how.
if you believe the
What do you
ads
say?
on the bottles, it's naturally occurring minerals.
Yeah, no, and I hope so. I guess I wondered if making it clean they would get out. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but also I think Fiji water is the grossest water. They'll never be a sponsor of ours because it's gross.
Why?
I just don't. I hate the taste of it. I think I hate Fiji. Like, and that's like what the more expensive water, and like you'll go in a green room and they'll have only Fiji, and I'm like, ugh. I think it tastes nasty,
Wow. I
and I think
I've never
knowing that it's probably the healthiest.
no preference. Like I've never noticed anything distinct about Fiji water.
Oh yeah, it's gross.
That is some Princess and the Pea shit if
No,
I've
it's not,
ever heard
because
it.
I like the cheaper brands. Like I
No,
actually
no,
like.
you didn't hear me correctly. You just heard the princess part. Princess and the Pea, where she was so sensitive to the one little pea underneath 4 mattresses or whatever.
No, I
It seems
just think I'm
sensitive.
such. No, I'm a pillar of health, and no, yeah,
It's
you're
still
probably
Princess
right.
and the Pea. Yeah, yeah, I'm right. I have to tell
Yeah,
you
I've
that
never like.
I was like, I'm not drinking out of plastic anymore. It's probably from like something that we talked about on the podcast for 3 seconds. And I was like, I'm done with plastic. And
Good.
so like I have a plastic water bottle, but like so I spent probably like 2 hours looking up stainless steel water bottles, and like there's different prices, and then but I was like, well, these get dented according to the reviews, so I looked at the more expensive ones that like you see at the yoga places, like the Chili's water bottles. And those, and like I can't tell you, every brand has their own line of designs, so it's not even just like clear, black or white. It's coral, neon pink, neon green, matte pink, matte green, flamingos. How about some leopards? Do you like cats? I spent like 2.5 hours looking for the perfect water bottle.
because your whole personality is being displayed in this water bottle. It's like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
it needs to be leak proof and show everybody that I'm fun. Like, it's so much pressure.
Yeah.
Also, I wonder if I told this story. I had a glass one, same thing. I knew plastic was bad. I got this glass water bottle at Target. I fucking loved it. And I took it everywhere. And I was changing trains. So I was transferring and I was running just across the platform to make it. And my little backpack's shaking. And I go under stairs and my glass bottle hit the back of the stairs and I made my train, but then I was like, I feel lighter. And I turn around, and as I turn around, my bottle's breaking and I catch the top of it. Oh, that's what happened. I catch the top of it. I get on the train, I'm just holding like a giant shard of glass. Like I looked crazy. So like
Oh
half the
my
bottle
God.
is like empty in the side pocket, and then I just have a giant shard. And I basically was like, my bottle, but everybody just sees a girl that looks like she's about to fight a whole train. Like I'm just like, ah. But I
Oh
was
my
like
God.
heartbroken. And it took me about 10 seconds to be like, put the shard down. Like I kind of just held it down. I was like, what? And then as soon as there was a next stop, I ran out the train, threw it out, and came back. But I was like, I loved it, but I won't buy glass like that. And it had all the little bumpers and protectors, and it's
Oh
still,
man, great excuse for a weapon. But like, I just pictured you being like, I feel lighter, and then you turn behind you, and it's just massacre. It's just like people are like, ah, just
just all
blood
stabbed
squirting.
by my. Your really cute water bottle just killed 4 people.
I love the dolphins on it.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, that's what I found out.
My Google was why can you feel someone staring at you?
Oh,
So human eyes are different from those of the animals in this regard, and in this regard is something I've skipped, so I couldn't tell you. Our pupils and irises are darker from the white part of the eyeball known as the sclera, and the contrast is why you can tell someone's looking at you or simply looking past you, which is weird. Like, because you can tell if someone's just looking past you or looking at you. Other species have less visible sclera, which is advantageous for predators that don't want their prey to know they're looking. However, human survival is more dependent on communication, which is why we evolved to have larger white sclera, which help us make eye contact. But when
interesting.
yeah, but when head and body positions don't provide much information, research shows that we can still detect another person's gaze extraordinarily well because of our peripheral vision. We evolved to be sensitive to gaze to survive because every look someone throws your way is a potential threat. It's funny because, like, it says we evolved to be sensitive to the gaze to survive. Why? Because every look someone throws away is a potential threat. But I was so irritated by that why I skipped it. Why?
Why?
But it's true. I mean, like, there was a guy that was staring at me when I was waiting for the train yesterday, and it pissed me off because it's so aggressive, and they know it's aggressive. But he just, I
Yeah,
could see, like, I'm coming down the stairs, he's looking at me. I'm like, I don't want to walk past him, but I have to.
yeah,
I'm walking past him, I could just feel him, like, just on me. So I stand at the platform, and then just, like, peripherally, I can just see him, he's still staring. It's just like, and I had, like, my keys between all my fingers. I was like, "Motherfucker, you wanna fucking go? I'll fucking let you I'll fucking fuck you up." But you get to that point because it's just, like, such an aggressive act to just stare at
yeah.
someone. But what I really
Which is,
wanted to know is why you could sense somebody from behind, and I haven't gotten to that yet. What were you gonna say?
I think you pick up more in your peripheral than you realize. Like
Yeah.
I've noticed that in general, that as somebody that does walk home by themselves a lot, as somebody that even just the fact that we pick up so much while doing our act while on stage, that like the amount of people I make eye contact with and I'm like, they're not having fun. She really enjoys me. I think they're about to break up. Like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I take in when I can see the audience, and more so than ever with Zoom, or like the fact that we're doing daytime shows more, or outdoor shows, like it's not this comedic lighting that we're used to.
Yeah.
I take in like, and I have big eyes, so like I give away so much with my eyes, but like people know when I'm happy, when I'm scared, when I'm pissed off. But I do, especially in the subway. I think the subway is where you learn a lot about like just being so uncomfortable with somebody staring at you, or if somebody keeps looking at you. Like, yeah, But that's interesting. I didn't even think that this is like being able to see certain parts of the eye.
Yeah,
I
this
wish I was
says
a
that
lizard
like
though.
it's called gaze detection. You are like a little bit like, or a computer is called gaze detection. So you're especially sensitive to whether someone's looking directly at you or staring just like over your shoulder at a clock. Studies that record the activity of single brain cells find that particular cells fire when someone is staring right at you, but amazingly not when the observer's gaze is averted just a few degrees to the left or right. Then different cells fire. So it's like you're really,
Interesting.
yeah, you're really in tune to that.
That's so crazy.
Man, it is an aggressive act to stare at a woman.
Oh yeah, it is. It's and it's. I mean, it is my full fight or flight happens. Like I am on high alert and I'm very uncomfortable. And like it's. I just know that if someone's staring at me, I'm in trouble. Like I don't think like they're just staring. I think like this is the beginning of something bad happening. And I
Oh, me
usually
too.
change trains. Yeah, I change trains. I make sure that I'm in a safe place. I might go into a store and stay there for a while. It is so upsetting, and I feel like everyone's taught that it's not okay to stare. So when an adult is staring at you, you're like, they're not okay in the head.
You know,
Like
in middle
that's what I think.
cultures, like the way you communicate with someone else that you're interested is through the eyes. Or wait, no, was it? I think it was hookers that had to do that through the eyes.
Uh-huh.
There's a lot that gets communicated through the eyes because like it's unacceptable for a man to approach a woman and but usually it's they communicate through Bluetooth. What I'm saying is there's a lot being said through the eyes. There was a video that went viral. No, I don't know if it went viral. I saw somebody's video and the woman was trying to explain to the man like I don't, because he catcalled her and she's like, I don't want you commenting on my body. He goes, oh, I'm sorry if you have a boyfriend or a husband. She's like, I don't have a boyfriend or a husband. I just don't want you commenting on my fucking body. You know, like it's like,
Yeah.
and in some guys' minds that like the only reason you might not be interested is because you're already taken or gay,
Yeah.
but it's not
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you might not want that attention from him.
Yeah.
It's
But
upsetting.
also, if we're going to do everything non-communicative, if you're staring at me and I look away, it's done. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I'm not interested. Like if we're doing this all silently, if I look away, if I start to look in my bag for
I
weapons,
look
it's
angry.
over.
Yes. Yeah.
It's done. You at the very least you need to know when it's turned off or there's not an interest. But that's where it gets scary and you think someone's not right in the head because you're like, I've given all the signs that I'm uncomfortable and they don't seem to give a fuck. I remember when I first moved to New York, they didn't the trains didn't have the digital like this is the next stop, right? And then you would have those maps. So you would sit down and if you sat in front of a map, some dude would
Yes.
stand over you. Sometimes it was from far away and you think they're staring at you. And then they would
Yes.
walk over and they'd be, and you
What?
now you have some dude's hairy chest in your face and you're like, just
Yeah.
say you're lost. Like I could tell you where Delancey is. Like, but I always had that moment where I was like,
Yeah, I
you're
remember
like,
that. I
oh,
remember that. You're just like, "What do you want?" Oh, right. Okay. Okay.
oh yeah,
Still.
sorry. Can I help you so you're not in my way? Okay, let's get personal. What would your major in college be now that you're an adult and you know what you're actually good at?
Do you wanna go first?
Okay, so I have two answers. One, just don't go. I don't need it. I I'm I don't need it. I don't need you. I
You
don't
might
need
as
you,
well have
college.
said it like that. Just don't
College, I
go.
don't
I
need
don't need
you.
it. I don't need you. I survive
Um,
without you.
yeah. So I would say, and this is kind of excluding the fact that we become comedians, but like what is our value? What is our skill set that we've grown with? And I would say either I would have figured it out on my own and I don't need college, or it would be marketing. And it's weird because
Mm.
I'm not like in love with marketing or whatever, but I'm fucking good at it.
You mean
I'm so
advertising? Like,
good at it.
yeah, I
Just Don Draper the shit out of these people.
so you
Like
mean
I
like
just
copywriting advertising?
yes, and like pitching ideas and like
Mm.
just like fucking I don't know. I see ads and I look at and I understand why I would buy like I think I'm very in tune with who I am and why I purchase stuff and why I need stuff. And then I can see why I'm like turned off by an ad or like they missed the mark or or they do like whatever it is. But like, and then also I like the unique idea of pitching stuff. And like I've told the story before where I did a focus group for like sunscreen and they're just like, why is sunscreen fun? And I was like, that's a bad question. Like, that's a shitty question and you're going to get a shitty answer. Why is it essential? Why is it safe? What are the dangers if you don't use it? Nobody's using sunscreen because it smells good and it feels good and it's fun. It's not fun. It's literally to prevent disease. Like, what are you talking about? So
Sounds like Liz isn't
why is this
fun. Sorry, sunscreen prevents
yeah, no,
disease.
Liz isn't fun. But it was just like, I was like, you ask a stupid question, you're gonna get a stupid answer, and nobody reaches for sunscreen because it's fun.
I did a lot of focus groups when I
stupid,
moved to London for extra cash. And it was like I resisted so many times to be like, you know what would make a better ad is this actually. And you just have to like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought I would be really good at advertising too. I played a game with Johnny. I was like, give me anything, I'll pitch it in a little ad, and then I would make a little jingle, or I'd have a saying or something.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I love that. We're losers, but no, I'm kidding. But like, just over lockdown, you just find things to do. But I just think you and I should start an advertising company, like for reals.
You know what's so crazy about it is like I could see myself being a consultant. I don't think now as an adult with being where I want to be in a lot of places in my career, I don't know if I would start something, but like
It's still a
I would
company,
come in
isn't
and
it?
yeah, but I would just be like, I love the movie Elf. I feel like everybody loves the movie Elf. But the writer that comes in and pitches the better version. I forget what his name is in the movie, but he's like a little person and he comes in, he goes, they're like, okay, here are our ideas. And they're like, okay, it's a tomato. He goes, no fruit, they're too fragile. You know what I mean? He's like, no vegetables. It can't, farm is so overdone this year. But like that's how I see myself. I see myself coming in and being like, it's not fun, Sarah. You're ridiculous. No, it's not fun. Okay, start over. Sunscreen, someone's dying. Like I know it sounds bad, but like I'm just like, let's make it moody. Why is it always in the sun? How about we're in a cancer ward? Let's start over.
Well, that's it for my dream.
Yeah.
So I think because we're comedians and we're so used to conveying ideas in as few words as possible, that goes like hand in hand with advertising.
Yeah.
And I'm just
And
like,
we're
and you
visual.
get pictures, like,
Yeah.
and you get video to go with it, like whatever. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could do this. I would want, and I've looked into this. Okay, besides like say performing's out of the question, because I would obviously want to go to like RADA and do some sort of acting training. I want to go into, I would want to go into fashion design.
Didn't you do some kind of fashiony thing as your major?
Oh yeah.
Originally?
Yeah. I see my hero's journey has gone full circle.
Don't you have a degree in that already, Maria?
That's right, I do. But here's what I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it too. I hated the people in it. I hated everything about it. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe fashion wasn't, but that wasn't design, that was merchandising. That was marketing for
Okay.
fashion. That was like being a buyer at companies like Macy's.
So like choosing what would be on the racks and like
Yeah.
what would be you would sell.
Yeah, but that's not
So fashion
design.
design.
I'm talking about
Okay.
being
Well, you
like, huh?
so really if you could do it over again, you would dream bigger. Like I'm not going to buy the stuff. I'm going to fucking make the stuff. I'm going to design
Yeah.
the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, no, or photography. Yeah, I think it would be photography.
I think you're already an incredible photographer. I don't think people realize like half the like posters and pictures, like the nice ones, not the ones where we're like 20 and eating like food and stuff. But like, half my website pictures are your or yeah. No, my old version of my website, I think half the pictures were yours. But yeah, you're already an incredible photographer and that's just you figured it out.
Or music. See, this is my problem.
Yeah, yeah. This is a dangerous question for you.
I tried to teach myself Photoshop and learn fine arts through a creative live class. One class. It's like, I'm going to learn fine arts. You know what? Yeah, this question has made my head explode.
Yeah, no, I now realize that was not a good idea, and I will think back up my questions in a different light going forward.
Want to be a chef. Let's move on.
Okay. We should get into our sponsor.
Yeah.
Our sponsor is wonderful. It's Curious Elixirs. It's so funny. So they sent me a bunch of bottles, and I was drinking here and there. I just don't like. To me, these things are like a nighttime thing because they're like this booze free, relaxy thing. And most of my non water beverages are during the day. I don't know how to describe that. So I had like one or two, but then my brother came to stay with me, and he drank all of them in like 2 weeks. Like he loved them. Like it was kind of crazy because I had a couple in the fridge, and then I had, because they gave me 2 boxes. I just had some boxes in the hallway, and he like was trying different ones every day, and then he had them ordered in the fridge by the ones that he likes the best. It was like, it was hilarious. And I was like, oh, I was like, I just made them a fan. I was like, I did it accidentally through my home. I was like, you need to sponsor my brother. My brother, he's like, this is amazing. So I find it so curious that like, I think because I'm a
Ah,
little out of the, huh?
I find
What'd you
it so
say? No.
curious. And I went,
Oh
ha.
yeah, no. Well, yeah, I didn't even plan that. Look at me. I'm out of the cocktail lifestyle because I don't drink. So it was like a different habit. And I was slowly just trying them like twice a week. And my brother was like, this is who I am now. So my brother's into it.
Luckily, they are booze free and organic, and there's no added sugar, so he should be fine. It's all those
I don't know if he
adaptogens.
found
So if you go to if you go to curiouselixirs.com and put in the promo code 2NON-DRS, you get 1 free bottle after you spend $50.
Should we spell Curious Elixirs?
CURIOUS elixirs ELIXIRS.com.
Promo code 2NON-DRS. Thanks, Curious Elixirs.
Thank you.
Topic.
Topic.
Okay. Our topic is CBD, which is kind of funny because we've had a sponsor a couple months ago that was CBD products. But I wanted to get more into CBD because I think we've all kind of noticed in the last, like 2 to 3 years, it's everywhere, literally everywhere. I find it so funny that like, yeah, you'll see it at like, there's a lot of health food stores near me and stuff. And I'm, that's where I get my weird yeast-free bread that I find, my keto bread that I can have. But like that seems fine. But like there's like a buying, what do you call it? Phone cases that has CBD oil. Like it's like places where, to me, it feels like something you would buy at Whole Foods, yet I see it everywhere. Like where you would go get your nails done is selling CBD oil, and you're at a mall and it's selling it. It just, to me, it came everywhere, and they all had these huge claims. It felt like this magic potion, and everybody was hawking it. And I was like, when did everybody get the authority, and why is this so magical?
Yeah, because I was at Planet Organic and they were selling coffee with CBD oil in it. It's like, can we figure out what the fuck we want? Do you want a caffeine boost, or do you want to be mellow from CBD oil? Or do you want to just see what both does? Like just like Alice in Wonderland, just growing and shrinking and growing and shrinking.
It did. It felt exactly like that, where like it was combined with stuff that doesn't totally make sense for it to be combined with, but then also it was in all these different forms, and they were hawking, every single thing was hawking too many things. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to be relaxed, your back's not going to hurt anymore, everyone's going to love you, you know what I mean, you're going to get famous. Like, it was just like this array of promises that some contradicted themselves and some just seemed impossible to fulfill. And then because like I looked it up, like FDA doesn't regulate it, and then there's only one FDA approved just thing. Where is it? The only CBD medication FDA approved is Epilex. It's a treatment for certain types of epilepsy. So everything else is just this kind of free for all, where like some dude in a basement can make some gummies and say that you're going to feel more relaxed.
That is essentially what's happening, because it's unquantifiable, right? Like it's like the claims are like you're going to feel more relaxed and more at ease or whatever. But how can you tell? I've taken CBD oil because of our sponsor, and because before as well. And I think it's made me more relaxed, but who's to say I wouldn't have just been more relaxed?
what I liked about Infinite CBD, I tried more stuff with them than I would have done because I'm not going to pay for it and blah blah blah. So I tried their sleeping, it's not sleeping pills, but like sleep help stuff. I tried their gummies. I mean, I liked their gummies, and like that was what was hard is some days I absolutely was like, I feel like it did something. And then some days I'm like, I don't know if I like my level was outside of their abilities. You know what I mean? Like you're just like, I don't, and like you said, how is it? Are like people taking surveys? I did think the sleeping helped, you know what I mean? But it also has melatonin in it. So who's to say it's not the melatonin? That's where it gets. Now, the
Yeah.
reason I liked them and in general, like like because it's such a wild, wild west and everybody's selling them, like there's all these kind of tricks to find out if this is a more valid CBD processor. So like before we go into that, let me just in case you don't know what CBD is, there's the cannabidol, I don't know actually how to say it, like what marijuana is, that cannabid stevia plant, and that's marijuana. And there's two parts of it. One is CBD, the other is THC. And THC is what kind of has a psychoactive response to it. That's how you get high and all those things. And the CBD doesn't have that. Although there is like a 5%, like 5% of people actually do have a little bit of an altered state on CBD, which is interesting because when I was doing all this research for my cat book, I was researching catnip, and catnip is like the equivalent of marijuana for cats. Like it very much is. And for the most part, every cat has the same response, but there's a small percentage of cats that are like, nope, I feel nothing.
Mm.
So I find it very interesting that this is almost the opposite. There's a 5% chance of people that take CBD and they actually do get a little high or get some kind of altered response on it. But for the most part, CBD is the non-high part. And that's why it's not as regulated as clearly marijuana is in most places. Um, and then what I also learned is that cannabis stevia has two primary species, and that's hemp and marijuana. Because I was always like, why is hemp okay? And what is hemp? And why is hemp associated with weed? Like it was also like confusing. So basically, both contain CBD, but a much higher percentage is in hemp. So yeah, so it's and then hemp has less than 0.3% of THC. So that's why like hemp is kind of everywhere, and some CBD is made from hemp and blah 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 blah, because hemp is like a sister product. You know what I mean, of marijuana. Like they're just like,
I thought hemp was fiber, like the fibers of the product
what
of
I read is that
marijuana.
it's there's two type of species. One's hemp, one's marijuana.
Oh, right. Okay. Got you.
Yeah. What's interesting to me is that like because this whole FDA is doing nothing with it, which I don't understand why the FDA can just decide it's not going to help out. You know what I mean? Like it's just going to be like, no, we're just going to let you do
Do you
whatever
th
you want.
do you think there's just, like, a backup at the FDA? There's just a line of products that need to be approved, and they're just like, "You guys are gonna take CBD anyway, we'll get around to it."
Yeah, yeah, they're just like there's too many products. I can't eat all these gummies. I'm just
And
my
then, like,
tummy.
there's, like, a line like Shark Tank, and contestants, so they just come in and like, "We wanna talk to you today about adaptogens."
Yeah, yeah. And they're just like, oh, that we'll have somebody over there test it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder what when they decide that they're not going to like what is the process of saying we're not even going to regulate it? I guess because like it makes me think that it's not regulated because not enough side effects can make it bad. You know what I mean? Like I think they regulate stuff when there can be real bad side effects and they have to intervene. But if they feel like it's
Yeah,
not
it feels
dangerous
like
enough for
people
them
have
to
to start
intervene.
dying first, and they're just like, "Okay, so what is this? All right, let's take a look."
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
But like, have you ever heard? Maybe we do a bonus episode about vitamins? I don't know where this came
We
up.
did
Okay, so I
vitamins. Yeah.
understood. Yeah, so I remember hearing this forever ago, like 15 years ago, that there's certain powders or there's certain vitamins or whatever at these shops that have like like a type of steroid in it. Like people, big guys trying to get bigger use. And then the FDA comes in and goes, hey, this is steroids. You can't have this. And then they take the product off and then they rename it or they add something different. Like they'll just add like a different protein powder in it. And now it's a whole new product and they'll put it back on the shelves and they'll start selling that until the FDA finds out. And then they take it. And it's like this, this cat and mouse game of putting something that shouldn't be on the shelves on the shelves. And I wonder if some of that is going on with CBD or some of that's going
Mm,
on with just anything with the FDA, which is like, we'll put this out there and when we get caught, then we'll take it back and then we'll call it something else. And,
yeah.
because they can only do so much because of that long line of products they have, clearly.
Yeah. You keep putting melatonin in this shit, and we have to keep telling you to take off the
Oh,
shelf.
every time dig through it. But
Now with carrots.
now with carrots, you're like, now tastes grosser. Because I remember when I came to visit you in London, I think like 2 years ago, you were taking it CBD before you went to bed, like under your tongue.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
you felt like it did something.
Well, that's because I just bought it, and I'd spent $50 or
No, when you
something on it,
spend
or
money, it makes you
pounds,
really believe in something.
and you're like, "This is going to work." I really don't know if it did anything. I think it does. I think it does mellow you out, but I don't know. The effects are so minimal, I'll be honest, because I've been taking the CBD oil that we got, and I was waking up feeling, like, awful, like I'd been hit by a truck, and I was just like I felt, like, tired and just lethargic, and I was like, I haven't drank in over a year, and I feel hungover. I think it was the CBD, because it's like if I
That's
had that before
interesting.
bed.
And was that one supposed to be like a before bed one? Because like I've noticed if I'm having trouble sleeping, I'll take either the melatonin I already have or I still have some leftover from our previous sponsor. And if I take it 1 or 2 days, like it does what it's supposed to do, da, da, da. But if I consistently take it, which I've actually learned more and more, you aren't supposed to consistently take anything with melatonin.
Oh.
If I consistently take it, I have that same like I took NyQuil and I'm like, yes, I slept through the night, but I feel like I was hit by a truck and I feel just like heavy and stuff like that. So I also wonder if it's not something you should be taking every day, that like CBD might be something you take when you're going to have a stressful day or you don't know how to relax, but it's not supposed to be this thing you take every day.
It's just that it was delicious because it tasted like strawberry and bananas, and it was just really good.
Which is the problem with gummy vitamins in general. Like I know my brother takes almost like a sampling size of gummy vitamins for zinc and for, vitamin D and whatever. And it's like, dude, they're so good. Like, how do you not take that? Like, how are you not making just like fruit snacks where you're like, can I get extra vitamin D? Um, what is interesting is uh, my roommate was getting CBD gummies delivered to him. Like he was getting them. And somewhere in the last 6 months, New York City started regulating them and you can't get CBD. Oh, and even when we got our sponsor package, they had to send it in like not their packaging. It was sent in like priority mail because New York City has laws against delivering CBD stuff.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that weird? Because
Yeah.
even like I was showing my roommate all the stuff and he's like, "Oh, can I try it?" And I was like, "Absolutely." He's like, "Yeah, I had to stop getting it and it was really hard for me to get it because there's now like laws against delivering CBD in New York City."
Oh, man,
Which
that's
why?
weird. Well,
Yeah, it's
because
a
children can order
fucking
it.
bummer. But it's not something unless you're that 5%. I mean, what a cool way to find out your kid gets high off CBD. But
You're like,
like
"It's the
unless you're
cheapest
that
drugs ever."
5%, it doesn't yeah, it doesn't alter your mood. But I wanted to kind of just talk about so there's different ways that you can take it and then I'll tell you how to find a more quality CBD if that is something you're interested in. So in general, there's like you can vape it. And the vape relief is faster. Like let's say you do have back pain and it does help. It will help you faster, but it wears off faster. So you have about 2 hours. So it delivers in at about 10 minutes, but it only lasts for about 2 hours. Then the one that you put under your tongue, I forget tinctures. I don't the word I don't recognize or like, but those and edible. It's TINCTINES tinctures. Is that a word? I don't know. That's
Tinctines.
oh, no. You are it. You are URE.
Tinctures, sure.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that word. Anyway, those and edibles take longer to start, but they last 4 to 5 hours. And that's the stuff that you take under your tongue that we were talking about.
Mm.
So if you do find that it does help you, there's different ways to take it that have different lasting effects. And then if you are looking into it, here are some of the ways to like make sure that it's like somewhat regulated and that that it's not just like, they ground some rocks up, made it liquid, and they're like it's CBD. So you should look on the back panel for an FDA disclaimer and warning, and then because they should say like this is an FDA, regulated. I mean, and then also there should be access to a third party lab testing results either on their website or on the panel. And if it is a quality product, there will be third party testing results because they've noticed that people that claim like, this helps this much or relaxes you this much that or it has this much CBD, when they did a third party thing, it had not nearly as much CBD as they said it would have. So I think the third party testing is really important. Dosing, that's actually what I really liked about our Infinite CBD. They had awesome dosing. Like they made it so clear, because I don't know if you've ever bought like weed from places and they're just like, you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. And I might get like, you almost have to clear your schedule. Like I might get so high that I don't move from the
Yeah.
couch for days.
Yeah.
So not that that's what's going to happen with CBD, but their website was amazing where it was like, is this for a human or an animal? And I was like, you're already blowing my mind. Like you're already
Yeah.
like, look at you guys. And then it showed you like, okay, if you take half a gummy, this is how much you're
Yeah.
getting. And this is,
I think I was
they were
supposed to take
amazing with
7
dosing.
drops of the tincture, and because I did it, and I was like asking Johnny, I was like, "Did that look like 7 drops?" He was like, "That looked like half the bottle." Like I was just like, because it was delicious. I was like 7 drops, and he was like, "You're gonna die."
Like drinking it throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then clearly never get anything that claims it's going to cure diseases or any of that stuff. That's garbage. Also, it should have a batch number. It should be treated like any other product that you ingest, which is if they have to recall it, like when they have to like recall like spinach or some stuff like that, like they'll basically be like from these dates and these are the batch numbers, this is bad spinach. Like there should be a batch number on it as well, because that's just good, like that's following good manufacturing procedures and practices. They should list all additional ingredients, like you should know everything that's in it. And then of course what we kind of talked about before, you should buy from you should buy from natural grocery stores rather than like the mall or whatever, because those natural grocers have a protocol and a vetting system for everything that they keep in their store, and they're more likely to do more research than some kiosk at the mall.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
yeah, and that was like really helpful, and that's
So
all the
no
stuff that I
no
kind of
dude named
intuited.
Tony on the side of the road.
Yeah,
No.
it was like, we
Yeah.
got a sale on these gummies, and you're just like, those just look like Welch's grape juice gummies. Like I am relaxed; they're very delicious. Oh, and then I just wanted to say the side effects real quick. There are some side effects. You can get dry mouth, diarrhea, reduced appetite, drowsiness, and fatigue. And then also, you should be aware that it could interact with other medications, but the biggest one is blood thinners. So you should not be taking it if you're on blood thinners. But I don't think you can overdose on CBD. So
I've tried. I got it.
Yeah. So I learned more. Like it's funny, I think getting that sponsor months ago, I learned a bunch of stuff, and there was things that I really liked about them, and I thought they were um uh really high quality. And then doing more research about it, I was like, I knew I was right.
Yeah.
Kind of knew that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would love to hear if anybody has used either from our sponsor or any other CBD product that they really enjoyed and they feel like it did have relaxing effects, helped with back pain, helped with anxiety. I would love to know anybody that uses it with any kind of regularity. And then, yeah, you can write to us at two non full word doctors at gmail.com. And we'll see you guys
We'll
next
see
week.
you next week. Bye.